Time is X minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the Rocket Hour. Y'all are now tuned in. Time to hit the pick four that you'd love to win. If your money's coming slow, step on the faster track with your host, Ricky Pasternak. Let's go.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of the Rocket Hour on a Tuesday. We're recapping Saratoga week one. I think we're going to do this every week, Ricky, where we kind of, on a Tuesday, kind of look back at what happened at Saratoga. I think it's that kind of meet where you should look back. I mean, there's so much to talk about. I don't know about you, man. I'm exhausted. I have not recovered from this trip.
Yeah, well, for you, there wasn't a beer or a White Claw or any sip of alcohol that wasn't taken in by you the 2 days you were there. So over the 48 hours. So I understand why you're tired. I'm more exhausted from the quick turnaround, right? I mean, Saratoga's got another 10 races tomorrow, 1 steeplechase, 9 regular races. It's just a quick turnaround. You really only have, for us, Monday and Tuesday off, but it's not really off because we got to switch it around. But it's fun. It's a good exhaustion. We're going to get into a lot of races. There's going to be one racetrack in particular we talk about, I think, a little bit as well. But I'm looking forward to, you're right, Tuesday is going to be a nice recap day because there's going to be so many stakes races to talk about from the week before. Yeah,
it definitely is. These summer months are so much fun. And listen, quick turnaround, that's good for you. There's nobody in the country hotter than Ricky Pasternak right now when it comes to handicapping Saratoga. Kind of real quick, just before we get in to our 3 stars of the weekend from Saratoga, how are you feeling, man? 4 straight days of hitting multi-race sequences on opening weekend. It had to have been a blast.
Yeah, well, I told you when we first got there, I was like, there's something about my handicapping that steps up when you're on site. Indiana Derby Day, Belmont Day, like almost, I don't know if we swept the card at Belmont Day, but like every pick 4 and 5, there's just something about your presence that seems to wake me up. Honestly, it's, I was so frustrated with the way Belmont ended, and I told you that. Yep. And you were kind of like, just stay the course pretty much. And it's like I shouldn't say an athlete. It's disrespectful to athletes who are in shape. But basically, it's, just stay the course, right? And you keep putting in the work. You keep putting in the time. And it was nice that actually came to fruition because it was a great weekend. Lots of money made. And there's nothing better than doing it in person. Again, watching on TV is great, but watching everyone around you win also, or lose around you, I guess, as well, is part of the game. And you're right. Everything worked out, but it's time to move on to the next week. It's time to get ready for Wednesday because, it's like that money's in people's bank accounts or my bank account. It's like, we got to move on. We got to keep it forward. But for you guys, you and your family, well, you and Heather's family, which is your family now, also hit a pick 5 group ticket. Kind of walk us through that a little bit and how you got to those decisions.
Yeah, your fans are fired up here, man. And as Mark said, Aaron's Travel Fund. That's right. We're going back to the Whitney just because of Ricky. So we hit the pick 5 as a group. That was a lot of fun. My aunt mistakenly made a dinner reservation for 5:30. Which was not a big deal, but we did miss the last 2 races. But it was kind of fun because we got to watch the last 2 races all sitting down as a table as a group. And the last race, we went over to a monitor, and Norm Cassie and Travis Stone were sitting there, and they were watching the last leg with us. So it was kind of fun. We celebrated that paid for dinner, so I think that's like really cool. And to pay for dinner at Saratoga at a place like Sperry's, which is where we were, and you got 8 people. Yeah, you need to hit a pick 5 to pay for that dinner. So that was cool to do that. Saratoga, man, just freaking fantastic. I know, I saw some people on Twitter being negative about Saratoga. Hey, maybe it's not for everybody. It's for me. Let's put it that way. I had a lot of fun. You're right. There was a lot of alcohol, and there will be on Whitney weekend. We'll be back for Whitney weekend. So I'm already excited about that. But it was fun.
Yeah, I haven't decided. I might be making a day trip back up there for Saturday.
Ooh.
Haven't figured that out yet. I'm going to try again. Some family, personal, medical issues might get in the way, but I'm deciding between. There's like 2 weekends before we go, right?
Mhm.
Which is August like 7th through 10th or 7th through 9th, something like that. This Saturday or the next Saturday. Haven't decided which one would be the day trip, or maybe an overnight and I just like stay in Albany or something. But I haven't figured it out. But I would love to, if possible. So maybe we'll be live on site again to do that. But you're right. For the record, I'll say this out loud. Your family / Heather's family, thank you guys. It was great. For people who didn't know, that's who I basically a nice glom. I glommed off of them. If you don't know what glom means, basically use them for all their stuff and give no return. That's pretty much what I was on. Got there Thursday morning and left. I picked up my stuff like Friday night while Aaron was on the floor. By the way, if you need me to actually cash your tickets in person, ask Aaron. I could also do that for you as well. And the money's going to be on time. The money's going to be on time. But you're right. Before we get into the 3 stars, if Saratoga's not for you and you like this sport, then either 2 things. 1, there's something wrong with you, and I'll tell you that to your face. Or 2, you never actually truly got the value of Saratoga. You never really enjoyed it the way you should have. So it's either one, because that track, that town is for you if you enjoy the sport. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with this. When you go to Saratoga, everything else seems like minor league, with maybe Keeneland and Del Mar's exceptions. Yeah, there's no doubt. Or big events like the Derby and all the Triple Crown races, Breeders' Cup. They definitely are up there as well. But
yeah. And and the big difference to those, to your point, like the Preakness is in Baltimore. Or right outside. That's a city.
Yeah, right.
That city's going to survive without the Preakness there. The Belmont's not quite in New York City, but let's just call it New York City.
Yep.
That city's going to survive. In Saratoga, that town does not survive if there aren't, I won't say 6 weeks, let's say 8 weeks from July 4th through Labor Day. That town does not survive if those 8 weeks don't exist. The money, you walk up and down in the streets and the shops, and you ask these people how they're in business, it's because of July 4th through Labor Day or July 4th weekend. So everything's a mom and pop shop, everything outside of a few stores. So that's how they make their money. It's, to Mark's point, it's like an all-star event for 8 weeks or 6 weeks, as opposed to some other tracks that have great racing as well.
Yep, I agree. And with Keeneland, because Mark mentioned Keeneland, Lexington doesn't survive without horse racing. And I know Lexington's a much bigger town than Saratoga Springs, but it still feels like it's a horse racing town. So yeah, I mean, I think that's why those 2 places are really, really special. And they both have their mom and pop type shops, places and places to eat and places to go drink and stuff as well. So it's kind of what makes it what it is. All right, let's get to the racing action that happened, because there was a lot of it. We're gonna go through our 3 stars of the weekend from Saratoga, and I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'm gonna pick a different one than what you have. Because I don't want to repeat. So who was your 3rd star of the week from Saratoga?
Oh, well, it's a good thing, see, we're on the same page, right? Because I picked 6 stars as well, just in case.
Right.
Didn't want to overlap. So everyone should know me by now. I'm not going to put 3 down and have to guess. I'm going to go. So I put them in order 1 through 6. So I'll start with number 6, I guess. I'm going to put Tis a Magician. This is not it's one of the few Saratoga ones that I'm going to use, but I do have to say, and I'm for more so for Magic than me, I don't have a stake in the horse. This kind of unlocked. If you guys aren't aware, he ran in the stakes race on Sunday. I'm trying to get the Cougar 2. I don't know why there's a Cougar 2. Maybe there's a Cougar 1. Either way, the Cougar 2, this horse can run for miles. I think Richard Mandela said this horse just wants to run. Like, no matter what, go as long as possible. He was really, really good. Got caught a little bit by Cupid's Claws, whatever the horse the name was. I wasn't sure if he was going to get run down, and he was a short price. But I credit to the crew, the Mandela and the 50 trillion My Racehorse people, including Magic. I think it was a really, really, really impressive race. And Aaron, I think, like I talked about the unlock point, Cougar 1 is Stifler's mom. I think we might see, they're talking Pacific Classic. I think that's nuts, to be quite honest with you. This horse should maybe get one more, like he ran in like the Tokyo City, something like that. That's going to be 12 furlongs again, and maybe that's it before the Breeders' Cup. Put him in the marathon. I don't know how long the marathon is. Probably something that distance off the top. I don't know. But that's where I'd be pointing him to. Great job. I'm happy for Magic. Now 2-time graded stakes winner, I believe, as well. He ran well when we saw him at Belmont as well. So I'm really happy that this horse that had a lot of talent didn't look great for a long time. Like they didn't, really know what to do with him. Didn't really know what he wanted. They figured out that if there's a 30-mile race out there, that's where he should be. And I'm happy for the group, especially Magic. So he's my 3rd star. We'll go number 6 overall, I guess.
Yeah, so I like it. I was very happy for Magic, for sure. I was yelling as loud as I could on the couch after flying back home. I got home just in time to see that race. And it was a lot of fun to watch him win. Really good race for him. One of his better ones, I think. He seems to be getting better with each start. I mean, I wish we could have seen what happened in New York if he didn't hop out of the gate in the Brooklyn, but oh well. 3rd star for me. I'm not going to go with a stakes winner. I'm going to go with an allowance winner. And I think a horse that he could be a big factor in the sprint division. Bo Liam for Steve Asmussen won an allowance race on Saturday at Saratoga. Man, oh man, this horse put it on the line, right? Ran a monster race early, able to hold off a late charge from another very good horse, Weitzel for Chad Brown, who I think is going to be very good as well. Both these horses earn a 106 buyer speed figure. Bo Liam for holding off that late charge and showing all kinds of heart. That was pretty much the highlight of a major week for Asmussen. We'll talk about him in a second. But Bo Liam, man, I will take him over a lot of the sprinters we've seen right now. And by the way, that was just his 2nd start. This horse could get a little bit better as he progresses. So Bo Liam was my 3rd star. I thought he was super impressive. Yeah,
you're right. Steve Asmussen, in terms of the trainers, I would say he's number 2 in terms of what I saw this weekend. One of my stars. We're going to get to in a minute, but you're right. Bo Liam is an impressive sprinter, which in a group where, to be honest, I don't love right now. I don't love the sprinter group. I think there are a few. They're solid. I'm not sure that Bo Liam by the end of this thing, can't be in that group, top 5 sprinter in the country. He might even be there now, depending, maybe not, probably on the 6 to 10 range, I would say, right? But this is an impressive horse, and there's no better trainer to have a sprinter. So things seem to be aligning for this horse.
Yeah, no doubt. Next Matoli, I'm not going to go that far yet, but he obviously he looked very good. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he can kind of just keep progressing. All right, 2nd star, Ricky.
Oh, well, you didn't. So I'm shocked you didn't use one of mine. So I'm going to go to Golden Pal. Now, it's not because Golden Pal didn't have one of the better performances. He did. But it was just it was the magnitude of the race, right? It was a race he was supposed to win. I believe he went off at 1-5. We hadn't seen this horse since last November, so we're talking 8 months ago, 8.5. I don't know. I'm not good with that stuff. But a long time ago, we looked at each other and said, this might be Wesley Ward's best horse that he's ever had. And I truly, truly believe that. When you think of Wesley Ward, you think of sprinters. Like, if the race is longer than 6.5 furlongs, that is not the guy I'd give it to. Anything 6 or less, and then when you throw it on the turf, you might have the horse entered 45 times, and they might only run once. That I don't know why he does that. But this horse is extremely impressive. He might be the best sprinter in the country. It just is a shame that it's on the turf. Because, Aaron, we talk about it all the time, people won't give Domestic Spending his love because he runs on the turf. Meanwhile, Domestic Spending is dominating horses by 2-3 lengths, which is the equivalent of 6 or 7 on the dirt. So Golden Pal wrapped that one up extremely, extremely easy. He was really, really impressive. And when we did the handicapping show at the Trackside Grill, we both looked at each other and said, this might be the best performance of the meet. And he didn't really get pushed. I think it could have been closer to 6, 7. which is impressive for a 5.5 furlong sprint on the grass. But he was really, really impressive. Wesley Ward has to be thrilled. And he's going to be a favorite in whatever Breeders' Cup race he enters. He's probably going to be a free square in most people's eyes, and he's going to be 3-5, 4-5. And he ran like 1-5 when we saw him on Thursday.
Yeah, he was awesome. I made a comment on that seminar that he's worth the price of admission today, just to go watch him, and he was fantastic. I was very impressed. Golden Pal, you're right. Now, he didn't face a whole lot, but I mean, at this point, we kind of know what he is. We know it's going to take a really good horse to beat him. We don't really have to see him face, unbelievable horses to know how good that horse is. So yeah, look out for him. He's going to be tough. He's going to be really tough in whatever he faces or whatever he runs in. He's just really classy. And I really like about him, you know what you're going to get out of him. He's just going to go to the lead, run as fast as he can, as far as he can. And he's so fast that it's going to be pretty tough to catch him. So, yeah. And as Mark said, yes, that the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint at Del Mar is 5 furlongs. That makes him even more dangerous because I think he is truly a 5 to 5.5 furlong type. I think if you stretch him out to 6 or 7, that's where you might be able to beat him. Del Mar going 5 on a rock hard turf course. Woo, he's going to be tough to beat. So that's something to look forward to. No doubt about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. If he runs 5 furlongs, I mean, he's going to run that race under 56 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be shocked if he got to 56 seconds. You're talking about a horse. I don't know what the track record is. I'll look. Maybe you could look it up, or I'll look it up when whatever. He's going to flirt with the track record. He's absolutely going to flirt with it. And I would be willing to say he's going to be for sure come within 1 second of that if he doesn't get it within 1 second. I mean, he's worth the price of admission on Breeders' Cup Day. To be quite honest with, I'm being dead serious. Like, he is the closest thing to a surefire bet we have in this sport right now. And it's kind of incredible to think that you could say that for a horse that's only going to run about 50, 55 seconds. So
yeah,
it's pretty nuts.
And they've kind of got him going where they can kind of just slowly build him up for that race. He hasn't fired a lot of bullets yet. He didn't really fire a bullet on Thursday. That was a paid workout for him. So they'll gradually get him there to where he's at his best that day. So he'll be fun to watch, no doubt. My second star, we're going to go to a 2-year-old, Ricky, who may be the most impressive Sanford Stakes winner that I've seen, and that is Wit for Todd Pletcher. This horse is a freak right now. And I know it's early and a lot, we haven't seen the better 2-year-olds really come out yet. But I thought Wesley Ward's horse, Headline Report, I thought that horse ran really well in the Sanford. Ran a race that would win the Sanford most years. Ran a race that usually that's how you win the Sanford. Go to the lead or get close to the lead, and just kind of you're the best of the horses that have early speed, and you can kind of stay out the trip. Witt passed those horses like they were tied to a pole. This is a horse that looks like he knows what he's doing at a very young age. I mean, he naturally is in the back half of the field or mid of the pack because he doesn't break out of the gate well. But a lot of times when a 2-year-old doesn't break very well, they either sit towards the back and never make a move, or they rush up and then they fade. This horse just kind of says, all right, we'll just put in a position here to where we'll just kind of sit mid-pack or a little bit behind and then just motor home. 2 times in a row he's done this. I thought Wit was out of this world. I think this horse is just really mature right now for his age. I think he's going to be very tough to beat in these one-turn stakes races.
Yeah, so I have a few things that the first thing that came to my mind, obviously this is a Pletcher practical joke. He's probably the practical joke's best horse already by far, since practical joke just I think him and Gunrunner both just started as like their freshman sires, first year sires. So that's one thing. So if you're another practical joke horse out there, you're second to Wit, no matter what. You're fighting for second, for that we've seen. The second thing is this horse is the St. Elias stables. So Aaron, I'll ask you before I get on, if you right now you're taking, we'll get to the distance thing with Wit. I'll give you a mile. I'll try to split it in half. 1 mile, 1 turn mile. We'll say Belmont because Saratoga doesn't have a 1 turn mile. Are you taking Wit? Or are you taking Known Agenda? Because I can make the case to you that Wit could run with Known Agenda at least. Once he becomes 3. Not at this point. Is that not a fair point, though? Because if St. Elias Stables, for as bad as he's been, I'm making the case that you have to be more excited about this horse right now. Because Known Agenda has been disappointing.
I think if it was 6 or 7 furlongs, Witt could beat Known Agenda right now. Right now.
Well, that's why I split it at a mile, because I think Known Agenda wants like 10 furlongs. So I try.
Yeah.
Even
at a mile, I think Witt might beat him right now.
And that's how scary it is, right? This horse is 2. And I tweeted it out. For the record, no one make fun of my photography skills. I tried my best while I was there. This horse is a freak, and if he ever figures out the gate, which I do want to get into in a minute. This horse is probably your Kentucky Derby favorite now. Now, again, there's a long ways away, but to Aaron's point, we haven't seen a 2-year-old. I don't think I've seen a 2-year-old run like this early in we're talking, 10 months in advance, 9 months in advance. I don't think I've seen a 2-year-old run this impressive in a long time. And where it's he's must-watch TV, and he's only run twice. So It's pretty crazy.
You just don't see him come from off the pace all that often. In a 2-year-old race, if they don't break well, they lose. I mean, that's usually just how it is, and that's just not the case with him. If you want to, real quick, we'll get into the worry about the distance. He has a pretty good distance pedigree on the bottom, so maybe that kind of pushes him through. Practical Joke did run in some 2-turn races, not well, but did run in a few, kind of hit the board. I think he hit the board in a Haskell, maybe. He got third in that, but that was a horrible Haskell. So maybe that's not a good example, but I'm not completely worried about it just yet. And again, it's so early that we don't have to worry about that really until November, because like you said, he'll probably go to the Sanford, the Hopeful, and then he'll probably run in the 1-turn mile in the Champagne, and that's not going to be any problem for him either. We really won't have to worry about this distance pedigree until the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, well, and it's also, I'm looking through it now. I mean, in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he finished Practical Joke, finished 4th, finished 3rd in the Cigar Mile. So, again, it's also incredibly different. These are his sons. These are babies. And we don't really know how to go off of it. It's possible. I mean, American Pharoah has great turf runners. American Pharoah, was never seen on the grass. So
right.
It's not impossible that his offspring, his babies, can be good going longer. We don't assume it, but you never know. I mean, he looks like it could be like an Amsterdam type of horse, a 7-furlong, elongated sprint, where it's like this horse might be scary, but who knows? Yeah.
Well, right now we know that he is just a beast compared to the rest of the horses in that crop that we've seen. And with 2-year-olds this time of year, you take it really, and this is a cliche, but one day at a time, because a 2-year-old could pop up any day, and we're like, wow, maybe that horse could beat Witt. So that's what makes Del Mar and Saratoga so much fun. All right, Ricky, number 1 star for you on the week.
Well, I wanted to go with Monmouth Park and their ridiculous whip rule, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try to stay positive. It's Charlie Appleby. It's not even close. I mean, for the longest time, I asked, I think it might have been 2 years ago, I said, who's the best turf trainer in the country or in the world? And it was the question really was Aidan O'Brien and Chad Brown, because I picked the best in this country, and then I tried to, in my best opinion, pick the best in the world. Mm-hmm. Chad Brown may or may not crack the top 5, because if I think Aidan O'Brien is the best European turf trainer, which I think a lot of people would, Charlie Appleby has now stuffed his face twice. So mind you, with the same 2 horses, they ran the same exact race. I think it was the Just a Game. We were there on June 5th, I believe. And it's crazy because he kept these 2 horses here. And I try to explain this to my dad, and I try to explain this to people that were, I was at the Winter Circle trying to get a picture of Altica again, not my best photography skills, but I tried. If you're a trainer in Charlie Appleby, I'm pretty sure he has 2 horses in this country. He doesn't ship that back. He keeps them here. Is that not an indication they're going to run well? And I forgot the name of the two Chad Brown runners. Yeah, I think it was Lamista, Harvey's Little Goyle, which is not his, and Pocket Square.
Yep.
Those turf horses are literally furlongs away from Charlie Appleby's horses. The picture of the weekend, by the way, is Manny Franco's daughter touching Altica, like right here, like right on the nose or right on the mane, right between the eyes. Picture of the weekend. I'm going to try to find that while Aaron goes. But Charlie Appleby, it's not even close. They run 1-2 again. And before Aaron, before I let you go to your first star, Summer Romance is not a rabbit. Like some people, Summer Romance is just going to go out there and let Altica. No, because if Altica wasn't there again, Summer Romance would have won again. There was no one else coming. Lamista and Pocket Square were brutal. Harvey's Little Goyle made a little run at the end. But Chad Brown got off to a really, really, really slow start to this meet. And we don't think it's going to last long, but it's clear to me, Charlie Appleby, you run 1-2 in a graded stakes race. He has 2 winners as far as I'm concerned. He only has a first and a second because they ran against each other. So he would be at 2 for 2 as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, love it, love that. I have nothing to add because I agree with everything he said. And I was stupid. I think Summer Romance could turn the tables because it was the exact damn same race that we saw in the Just a Game. But anyway, what can you do? But yeah, two really good horses there. I think they're going to be tough. I don't know who in this country can beat those two in the filly and mare turf division. So I think they're going to be tough moving forward, and it's just going to be. Breeders' Cup time. Will other European shippers come over and maybe try to take a shot against those two? We'll have to see what happens there. So, well, Ricky, the first star, and I was hoping you would take this one because I'm so sick of this subject. But we have to talk about Monmouth. It was the Haskell. It was the biggest race, unfortunately, of the weekend. Who do you make the star, right? Is it Hot Rod Charlie? Is it Mandaloon? I guess Mandaloon is the first star because he technically won the race. Listen, I'll kick it to you. What did you think of this whole mess of the Haskell?
Well, I don't like to quote my own tweet because I think it's extremely rude, but I'm going to just repeat it because, I think I kind of said it best. I'll read it right from my Twitter. In Monmouth Park's biggest race, the whip rule comes into full effect. Hot Rod Charlie fell victim to the worst rule ever. I just left it like that, didn't go on, and it was probably the most engaged tweet I've ever had. So thank you guys for that. Like 117 likes. I had Gerard Melanson, a jockey, like the tweet. I mean, it was thank you guys for that. The star has to be the whip. An inanimate object is the star. Yeah, I let you take it because you can go in like 9 different directions with this one. I'll just keep it short because it's your star. But I mean, again, it took the biggest race at that racetrack. So we're not going to see that race for another 360 days, whatever it is, for everyone to have a sour taste in their mouth. And it was a bad rule to begin with. I'm not really sure what to say other than that. I'll let you go because maybe I didn't really want to be negative. So I'm just going to leave it at that. An inanimate object is the star of the week. Something that doesn't exist. It's not a living thing. So
yeah. So just real quick, can Hot Rod Charlie still make the Breeders' Cup? Absolutely. Yeah, he will be there as long as he's healthy. He's there, and he's also going to point the Pacific Classic. And if he wins that, he's automatically in. But Hot Rod Charlie will be there. Don't worry about that. Listen. It's crazy. It's crazy to me that a guy like John Velasquez has been adamant about this, and he's the leader of a group of a huge amount of jockeys, right? That have been adamant. It's like, this isn't right. This isn't going to work. It's dangerous. I am just going to keep it simple. I'm going to side on the side of the Hall of Fame jockey, John Velasquez, who, by the way, doesn't even ride at Monmouth. So he has no dog in this fight, really. He would ride on this day. Haskell Day, he probably would have been there. That's it. If he is that adamant about it, I'm going to trust him over somebody on Twitter who just has an opinion, and that's just me, and you can have your own opinion, and I don't even care anymore about everybody has commented about this. oh, it wouldn't have mattered. Oh, we see this every day. I'm sorry. I don't see a jockey, or I don't see a horse go down in the stretch every day. I don't watch races and see horses drift out 8 wide on the turn every day like I see at Monmouth every day, because they're waiting for an instruction from a jockey because they're used to having the whip. I don't necessarily think it's the whip so much as you have horses that are used to having it used on them, and then you get in a situation where they don't. They're creatures of habit. They're waiting for an instruction. They're waiting for it, and then they never get it, and they get confused. I honestly think that's what it is, more so than the whip could have done this or that. It's just you've got horses that are used to it, and then they don't get it. Horses that have ran at Monmouth 3 or 4 times, maybe they get used to that, and maybe, you see it kind of self-correct itself. But in this situation, Flavien Prat said 1 tap left-handed, and I would have been able to straighten him out. Who knows if he would have done it or not? I don't really know. All I'm going to say about it is I don't think it would have hurt for them to be able to use it.
Well, no, I completely agree. Yeah, right. It's hard.
Guess what? If you have that option and then it happens, then we're just saying, well, Flavien Prat's an idiot. Why'd you do that? Right.
Right. Well, it's hard to tell. That's why I'm with you on 2 points. One, anytime a jockey's going to have an opinion, I could say 2 + 2 is 4. And if a jockey in this situation tells me 2 + 2 is 5, I'm going to take that very seriously, because they are on the horses. And it doesn't have to be a Hot Rod Charlie. It doesn't have to be. It could be a 5,000 claimer. They are on horses day in, day out. That is their job. They go to the track, make connections, and ride horses. So whatever we think is irrelevant. That's like us telling a baseball player or a football player how to do something, a professional football player. They're professional athletes. They're getting paid millions of dollars, more money in 1 year than we'll ever see in our lives, to do something at the highest level. So that's one. The other thing is, you're right. To the effect of Hot Rod Charlie, no one's going to sit here and say it's possible he still drifts in. We have no idea, but it sure as heck couldn't hurt. It could not hurt. It physically couldn't hurt. I don't even mind if that rule was in effect if every track in the country went by that rule. You can't have – that's what the big deal is here. People are like, oh, well, X, Y, and Z. If one track has it, it's an issue. If every track in the country has it and the horses aren't trained with whips, then I'm okay with it. You need it to be universal. It goes back to the same thing why during COVID some tracks were open, some weren't. Because there's or the Baffert thing. There's no board. There's no universal group. Every track, every state's on their own. So Monmouth by themselves. The only other track in New Jersey, it's harness horses. It's like Freehold and the Meadowlands, which they don't use whips anyway. So the only thoroughbred track doesn't use whips. Now, in terms of a handicapping aspect, I don't look into it nearly as much. I personally don't, because people say, oh, we don't know how they're going to respond to a whip. It's almost like you throw the Monmouth race out as opposed to using it. So, and mind you, folks, horses coming from Monmouth are not running at Saratoga. They're not good enough. I don't know why. Like, everyone's like, oh, well, when they come to Saratoga, they're not going to be good enough when they run here anyway. So what's the difference? They're going to be like 40-1 most times anyway. So that's just my 2 cents. But it's a shame. It's a shame because Hot Rod Charlie probably would have won. It's funny, the tweet you guys sent, the racing dude sent out, and you guys aren't sure. I don't even know who the tweet comes from. It could be Aaron. It could be Jared. It's like a guessing game. You got to flip a quarter. You sent me the tweet, and then I do want to show this picture of Manny Franco's kid because I think it's the cutest. That Hot Rod Charlie was a clear winner or something along those effects.
No, Jared tweeted it out, and he said, Hot Rod Charlie was much the best in this race. It wasn't even close, and it's like, that is insanity.
Right, okay, anyway. Sorry. Not a clear winner, much the best. It was something to that effect. Yeah. And I thought you tweeted it, and I was like, I don't know. Because even if he didn't, he would have won, I think. Yeah. But it was way too close. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, if he wins by a couple lengths, sure. But
yeah, it wouldn't have been.
Listen, they had to slow down that feed to see who hit the wire first. I thought watching live that Hot Rod Charlie won. I thought he did. Yeah. And they slowed it down, and it was, very close. Like another head bob and Mandaloon could have won. That he was the best close. If you wanted to say, hey, he was the best horse of the race and it's a shame he got DQ'd, I agree, but not even close. That's as close as you can get.
Right. And that's what I said. Yeah. And that's what I said. I said it was a shame that he fell victim to the worst rule. Now that doesn't imply, even if he finished second, I would have said the same thing. I mean, you can't make a case for a horse that finished sixth, but I mean, even if Mandaloun did beat him without the DQ, you could still make the argument that maybe he gets an extra giddy up, an extra, I don't know. Mind you, the impact of this whip, people need to realize when a horse is getting whipped, it's potentially like someone hitting us with this pen. Sometimes some horses really don't feel it that much, and it's hard to tell. They're 1,000, 1,100 pound animals. So yes, they're getting whipped, but it's not like us getting whipped. So people need to realize that. Before I guess we move on to this is the picture I was referring to. This is Manny Franco's daughter. I don't know who the woman is holding her, but petting Altica, and you could see there, in the comment. This is pretty cool, and this is kind of what makes the sport. I should have tried to get a picture myself. I didn't get I'm not in the winner's circle. I'm the loser on the outside. But yeah, so that's the picture. And overall, before we move on, it was just a great weekend. Obviously, us spending a little time together without your ridiculous reservation at 5:30. Someone needs a talking to after that. It's a sin. It was great. It was a great weekend. And I think it's time to get into some meet stats and what we need to look forward to.
All right, let's do it. Let's get right into the current trainer standings after the first week. And look at this. Steve Asmussen on top right now with 4 wins. Now, obviously, I don't think this is going to stand up. But Steve Asmussen on top with 4. And how about Brad Cox? He sends out 5 horses, 3 winners, a first and a second. So these two, along with Bill Mott, right there in the top 3. Were you surprised after week 1 that Steve Asmussen is our top guy?
Well, I'm not, because Asmussen's very hot and very cold when it comes to Saratoga. Like, if he has a good meet, he can really contend for a trainer title, because all his horses are coming from Churchill Downs, or I don't want to say Ellis, but Churchill and Keeneland. And as a result, we'll get to the jockey standings in a minute. It really comes down to Ricardo Santana as well. Ricardo's going to be up there if Steve's doing well, or Ricardo's going to be down there in the cellar if Steve's in the cellar. That's just kind of the way it is. The biggest thing for me, I was really impressed. Tom Amos, 2 for 6. He only had 6 starters. He's tied for 4th. I know it's early on, but I've never really loved Amos, honestly, at Saratoga. I was very impressed. Very, very impressed. Mark says that Pletcher 1 for 15 is a little shocking.
Yep.
Yeah. He does have some thirds, but, short thirds. I mean, there was one horse, I was actually, when you left, you were flying home, you were on your excursion, wherever city you were in. There was a horse named Mezcal on the slop, and the other horse, Aaron, was Equal Pay, the horse that had the lead at the top of the stretch in a maiden race and fell down. Mezcal was owned by Bobby Flay. I was watching Bobby Flay. And then Chad Brown had Equal Pay. And then the 7 came on, Moonshine Princess, Moonshine Now, something like that. And I was like, this kind of sums up the weekend, right? Sloppy track, 2 short prices, Mezcal, first-time starter, so you take that. But Equal Pay, everyone was pegging as a winner because he really would have won had he not lost the jockey. That kind of summed it up. For me, again, just looking at Charlie Appleby winning at 50%, which is really 100% as far as I'm concerned, is leading in earnings. He had 2 horses in 1 race. I don't think anything shocks me. I think there are a few more things on the jockey side that shock me a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised with Pletcher's 1 for 15, and then Chad Brown is 2 for 16. But you look and it's like he finished second 6 times and had a third, so that kind of shows me okay, he just kind of had a rough weekend. Kind of like you said, things just didn't fall his way, but he'll be there. He's going to be around. We'll see what happens though. I still think it's a Pletcher versus Brown situation for this trainer title, but it's really nice to see some new blood up there after the first week with new blood for Saratoga as far as being in front, Asmussen and Cox. So we'll see how that shakes out. Jockeys, you were excited about the jockeys. You said you've got a really good stat. Before you say that, Irad Ortiz, that's no surprise with 8 wins. Luis Saez with 8 wins. He's up there in tied for first. I'm sorry, Irad Ortiz in first with Luis Saez, Jose in third at 6 wins, and then Manny Franco with 4 and Ricardo Santana with 4. All these guys had a pretty good opening weekend. But you said you've got some interesting stuff for us with the jocks, right?
Yeah. So first of all, Luis Saez is the winner of opening weekend from a jockey's perspective. He was on the main ship. I don't know, Shipsational. I think it was Shipsational. On the first race on Sunday, I'm willing to say this now. If I have a speed horse, he is the guy. I don't really think it's close. If it's like he would be perfect on like a Golden Pal. Just get out to the lead and go. The stat I have, it's Jose Lezcano. Aaron and I talked about trainers that we think could enter the top 5, not win the whole thing, maybe even top 10. And we try to give you a long shot. Okay, Jose Lezcano finished in the money at 35%. Where does that rank? Right outside the top 5 into that, mid-tier top 10 group. Not much further behind Ricardo, not much further behind Jose Ortiz. Mind you, I didn't do the stats for everyone else. The average price of a Jose Lezcano starter, Aaron, take a guess.
Oh,
the odds.
I don't know.
No guesses? Anyone
12 to 1. 12 to 1.
21 to 1. The fact he's able to finish in the top 3 at 35% is a borderline miracle. Literally a borderline miracle. I didn't do the turf stats. His 2 wins came on the turf. One was Gear Jockey. I think that was the Rusty Arnold horse, maybe Rusty Arnold. And then he had another turf horse. And I said Jose Lezcano is a top 3 turf rider at Saratoga. Absolutely. And Maddie's Express, the horse that I used with the 8. Maddie's Express unlocked the first pick 5 on Saturday, I believe. He went off at like 10 to 1. It's incredible what Jose does on the turf. I mean, I would like drool if I got a chance to tell him that, because he's such a good turf rider, and it's unfortunate when you're Irad Ortiz wouldn't be anything if he's starting on horses at 21 to 1 either. It stinks because you only if you're getting on the 7th horse, 7th best, 7th call, 7th, 8th call, what are you supposed to do? And a lot of these horses were over 40 to 1. So that's my stat for Jose Lezcano. I'm sure there's some bad rides mixed in there as well, but he is very, very good. Extremely, extremely good. So I thought that was interesting.
To your point, they all give bad rides now and then. I mean, you ride 10 horses a day, you're going to screw up once or twice. And my biggest advice for guys that get mad at jockeys constantly, and I know we all do it, but they're going to screw you one way or another eventually, no matter who it is, even Irad, even Luis, even Jose. So it's just, that's how it happens. And you're right. You're only as good as the horses that you're on. And that's the big thing. Some guys that are really started slow. Javier Castellano, 1 for 15. He's just not getting the mounts that he used to. Joel, 2 out of 24. Obviously, that's not great. He was very good at Monmouth on Saturday, though. So you got to take that into account. I thought Tyler Gaffalione rode pretty well opening weekend as well, 3 for 15. So he's kind of a highlight. That guy is getting better and better every year. Can kind of ride anywhere and do it pretty well. So all in all, not a ton of surprises on this list. For the trainers, I thought we had some surprising stats here. It's pretty form. I mean, that's pretty much what we thought coming in, right?
Yeah, nothing really surprised me, from that end. I think Saez being tied for first was incredibly, incredibly impressive. Irad is probably going to win the thing. We see that every year. Mind you, Irad has a horse in every race. Yep. I mean, you've got 39 starts. They've run the meet for the 4 days. Yep. I think they went 10, 10, 11, and 10. So that's 40. I believe that's what it was. Don't quote me.
Yep.
Right. So that's 41. So we didn't have a mount in 2 of them. Mind you, the 2 that he didn't was probably horses that got scratched. I can't confirm that, but they probably were scratched, which meant he would have been probably 41 for 41 with a horse in there, and he's not going to get on a bad horse. Yep. So he should be winning. To be quite honest with you, I would take pretty much any of these guys that were given those opportunities to do well. So,
look at the standings. Irad rode 39, Luis 37, Jose 34. They're 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it does make sense. Obviously, you have to be a good jockey to get mounts, so that it goes hand in hand. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense that way. All right, let's kind of look forward to next week real quick, or I guess this week I should say. I'm still stuck in the past. Let's look forward to this week. We've got some big stakes races. I'm showing this one first. It's a Lake George on Friday, going 1 mile on the turf for 3-year-old fillies. We know the field because that's already been drawn. This is a really, really good field of 10. I don't want you to give me a pick yet because we will handicap this on the Friday Rocket Hour. I'm sure we'll talk about this in depth. Just like first glance, what do you think of this field, basically?
This is pretty good. I will say, what race is this? By the way,
this is the Lake George.
Yeah, so the Lake George pops up as a grade 3, I believe. This is a pretty nice grade 3 field. I think some of these horses have potential to win grade 1. Toby's Heart is a sprinter, so that's interesting. Mark Heft chimes in with Demodog coming from Churchill Downs, who hence why Chris Landeros is going to be coming up. Chris Landeros, I'm guessing, riding at Ellis pretty much every day, or maybe going to Colonial Downs since they just opened up. This is the type. So the theme for me, again, I'm not giving picks because I don't remember all these horses off the top of my head, but it is a nice group. But I will say this is the type of race, right, that Chad Brown has 3. If he's going to start turning things around, this is where we start to see it, right? This is like his type of race. There are no crazy horses, and I'd be shocked if there were any short prices. I think this looks like a wide open group just looking at the names. So I'm interested to see if Chad Brown starts to turn things around.
Yep, I agree with that. It's going to be a lot. This one is just a ton of fun. You got 3 Chad Browns, and like I said, you got Dimmadog. I remember you got 4. He's got 4. He's got the outside horse too. I missed that. So 4 Chad Browns. Jouster, who's really nice horse. It's cutting back in distance with hot jockey Luis Saez aboard. Invincible Gal's a pretty nice horse. Demodog, as Mark Heft said, very nice horse. This is a typical Saratoga turf event, right? I mean, it's going to be really, really good. And that's a Friday. Remember, this one is on Friday. So, and that's another great thing about Saratoga. You get great races during the week as well. So look for the Lake George on Friday. We've got the Caress on Saturday, grade 3 for the turf fillies sprinting. But the big one is the Coaching Club American Oaks, grade 1, going 1 mile and 1/8 on Saturday. We do not have the field yet, but we know the headliner, Malathot, will be entered into the race. Obviously going to be a big favorite, probably less than even money. Malathot, I know earlier in the year you were ready for Malathot to get beat in this spot. I don't think your girl Always Karina is going to enter here. What are you planning? Are you going to try again to say, hey, I don't care, I'm going to go against Malathot, or are you going to come to your senses and play Malathot?
I never come to my senses. If anyone knows me, I don't have any sense. But what I will say, if Always Karina enters this race, don't be surprised if there's a picture for me at the track on Saturday. This might be the weekend where I go up. Now, she might be dreadful, but I'd highly consider making the trip depending on who else is in the field. I think we're going to see search results as well, which would kind of take Always Karina out because search results, I think, is the other Chad Brown. I'm probably going to come to my senses, or whatever the closest sense that I have is. Again, I don't have any sense. I'm all over the place. She should. Malathot should win. Now, if she does, she'll have put together one of the nicest 3-year-old filly years that we've seen. I think she's already up there. I was very skeptical of her when she was coming out of Aqueduct, and then she just kept running well. And I'm the first one to admit that I've been wrong. I thought the New Orleans groups, I can't think off the top of my head, but I thought the New Orleans Fairgrounds group was going to be better I don't know if they're not good enough or they weren't better. Either way, they're not as good enough, compared to her. I think Crazy Beautiful. I don't know, is she going to be in this?
Now I'll read you off. She was pointing this race, and then they've decided to opt her to the Alabama. So the possibles or the probables, however you want to say it right now: Town Avenger, Army Wife, Maracuja, Clairiere, Malathot, and Rock, Paper, Scissors. Those are. Oh yeah, you're right, Mark. She Crazy Beautiful quarantined at Saratoga Barn. Another, not her, but another horse in that barn came down with the herpes virus, and so that barn's quarantined. You're right. I forgot about that. So right now it's a possible field of 6. And like I said, I'll read them again: Town Avenger, Army Wife, Maracuja, Clairiere, Malathot, Rock, Paper, Scissors. I don't know where you're going to find anybody that's going to beat Malathot out of that group.
Well, she'll be playing chess, and everyone else will be playing rock, paper, scissors, based on that field. Because the only horse that I think could even run with her is Clairiere. And I don't even say run with her like could be a distant second, could be a 5, 6. I'm just talking about running with her like early on. She might be a contender. But
what about Army Wife? Any interest? Army Wife won the Black Eyed Susan 2 races back, won the Iowa Oaks last time out. Any thought on her at all?
I mean, the fact you could say she's won 2 in a row now makes her somewhat intriguing. Could we show that, what you're showing? Could we show the Army Wife thing?
Yeah, here, hold on. Let's see.
Just because I want to point something out.
There we go.
We try to zoom that in a touch?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I want to point something out.
Hold on. I just zoomed us in.
There we go. Okay.
No?
No. That's good. No.
Now I've done it. There we go.
Okay. This is what I want to point out. No, it's fine. You asked me if she has a shot. She's coming from Pimlico and Prairie Meadows. If that doesn't tell you she's not going to compete, then I don't know what will. That's what I wanted to show. The Black Eyed Susan wasn't great, to be quite honest with you.
No.
And the Iowa Oaks was even worse because I don't know what to make of Pauline's Pearl. That horse is dreadful. Oh, God. So I'm not really sure. The best race that she ran was probably 3rd in the Gazelle. I'll be quite honest with you in terms of field, because Maracuja will see again. I'm shocked we're not going to see search results. I mean, I thought we would. Maybe she's pointing to the Alabama as well. I don't know.
No, she's going to go to the test. That's where search results is going, to the test.
Oh, okay. So
Brown doesn't have one because always Karina didn't run very well, and then search results they decided to keep one turn for now. So,
seriously, before we end here, unless you have another race you wanted to go over, because I think the coaching club is the big one of the weekend. I don't know what Del Mar has going on. We haven't gone that far. Always Karina, I really think could finish 2nd. I mean, she wasn't great when she ran at Belmont in the Mother Goose. I'll admit she wasn't great. Can she finish 2nd? I do. And she's the most likely to give Malathot a run for her money, I think, out of that group, out of what you just read. Maybe Maracuja. She's a nice horse. But, I mean, boy, rock, paper, scissors? I didn't even know that horse existed until 30 seconds ago. I mean, that Malathot that's a paid workout as far as I'm concerned. That group. It's hard to, when you point for a race like that, if you're the connections, you don't know how it's going to come up. Right now, that's a C at best. He might be C-. It's a weak field. I'm more excited for the turf race we showed prior to, if that's what the final field is going to be.
Yeah.
But
no, I totally agree. It's not good. It's not good at all. But
if that's what it is, I'm not driving up there for the weekend. Because what's the race after that? The one we're not going to be there for. It's the coaching club.
The Jim Dandy.
Oh, okay. That's got to be a better field than this. Has to be.
Oh, it will be. The Jim Dandy's going to have essential quality. So that in itself is enough, I would think.
Yeah, I would assume I would have gone up for Always Karina. It doesn't look like she's pointing there, and I can't blame Chad after the way she ran.
Yeah.
The thing with essential quality for me and for you, well, you're not going to make the trip. anyway. But we're gonna be there for the Traffers. It looks like.
Yep.
So I'm already gonna see Essential Quality. Do I want to drive another 2 hours and 45 minutes to see him again? Maybe. I don't know. Again, my schedule on a personal note might dictate which weekend I can go to, which one I can't.
Right.
But Essential Quality might be worth it. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I would choose that one over Malathot for sure. But it's gonna be another fun weekend, no doubt. We'll be right back at it here tomorrow on the Rocket Hour, going over the late pick 4 on Wednesday's card at Saratoga, and you can say the same thing about Thursday and about Friday. I'm sure there's no doubt we're going to be at Saratoga those 2 days as well. You were going to have a lot of content on Saratoga this week. I'm guessing the Magic Mike Show will do Saratoga this weekend. Of course, Jared and I on Blinkers Off also will be doing a lot of Saratoga coverage. So we're just getting started. We've got 1 week under our belt. We've got a bunch more to go. We got such good racing coming up, this year, whether it be the Jim Dandy, the Whitney, the Travers Pacific Classic will be interesting. It's going to be a fun summer. So stick with us. We'll be right back here tomorrow covering the late pick 4 at Saratoga. Good luck if you're playing the horses today. Oh, Ricky wants to say something.
Yeah, real quick, just want to apologize to everyone that we didn't do the Rocket Hour on Friday. We were all over the place. I wish we had, because we would have been giving out winners, but we were kind of all over the place. So we'll be back to schedule Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we'll do better. There was a lot of people in Aaron's room on Friday morning, so it was just a little tough to navigate. But when we're back, August 8th, 9th, whatever that is, we'll do it, because it's just going to be a few people in the room. So I do just want to apologize for that as well, if people were interested, because it would have been free money given. So
well, what happens is one trip that I take to Saratoga is it's basically a family trip. Heather is from Plattsburgh, and her family comes down, and it's wild. It's hard to get anything done because we're just all over the place. So the Whitney and the Travers, more of a business trip. So we'll definitely be on the air. But listen, you didn't want to see us anyway, because I was, Thursday. Was that Thursday?
You were okay. No, Thursday we were live doing a handicapping show.
That's right. It was Friday. Yeah. Oh, I could have done it Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Thursday we were never going to do it. We had said that.
Yeah.
It was Friday where we could have, but there was also like 8 people in a compact space. And I was in the middle of the compact space. So, but again, thank you to you guys for the only thing I have to say about Aaron before we wrap it up, I was a little disappointed he never came over and say hello to my dad.
Well, I told you I was getting ready to come over, and I was hit with the news that we had, because I was going to watch the late pick 4 with you guys. I had all planned out. I was at the bar, and I was going to come over, and then I was hit with the news that, our dinner reservation was at 5:30. And that's when I was like, well, that's not going to happen, because I'm at the bar. I have like half of a drink left. I have to leave in 10 minutes. I'm not going to walk. I'll never be able to make it. So I had to cut something out. Unfortunately, it was your dad.
That's
next
okay.
Time. Next time.
Oh, yeah, next time, probably. I don't know when that's going to be. It's not going to be this summer. We don't know. None of the trips overlap, unfortunately.
He's not coming back?
He is, but it's the weekend. So August 8th or not 7th, whatever it is, that weekend is the Whitney. Then you guys aren't back until the Travers.
Right.
We're going up in between then. So if you need me starting in August, anyone, I'll be at the track every weekend except for one between August 8th. At the 8th, I'll be there. The 15th, I'll be there. I won't be there the 22nd, and then we'll be there like the 28th, 29th. He's actually going to be up there the last weekend, which is September, actually. It's like Labor Day weekend. You won't be there either. I'm going to try to get him to take my mom, his wife, out to Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup. You would see him then.
There we go.
But otherwise, it might not be a while. So we'll see.
You hate to see it, but I think both parties will move on, and they'll probably be okay. you can't miss what you don't know, Ricky. So
That's true. Well, I told him, I said, you gotta, thank the guy for giving me an opportunity. And he said I would have loved to meet him. And I said maybe in 2021 we can make it work. But no, yeah, it was a great weekend overall. Every Saturday is a holiday. It is. It truly is. And enough with this Monmouth stuff. It's like, thank goodness we don't have Monmouth clouding Saratoga anymore.
I'm 100% with you. I'm super happy that Monmouth is over for me. I'm not watching another race from there. I'm just not. It's hard enough without having to deal with that kind of bullshit. So, here you go. Quick note: St. Louis Derby is back this year. $250,000, August 28th, mile 16 for 3-year-olds. Only issue, that's also Traverse Day. That only issue is actually a big issue. So, but you know what? I don't think horses going to the Traverse were thinking about going to the St. Louis Derby either.
What's the St. Louis Derby?
St. Louis Derby is a race they used to run at Fairmount Park a long time ago. Lawyer Ron actually won the St. Louis Derby, believe it or not. And I think he may have been the last winner. They took it away, and now it's back. FanDuel bought the track and brought back the the St. Louis Derby. So, yeah, it's there you go. Lawyer Ron was the last one. It used to be a big deal. Well, it used to be a deal. And now it's back. So tough choice to put it there. It's not, nobody's going to know what happened, but I might watch it. Will you watch it with me?
If we're there together?
Yeah.
No. I'm not even sure I would watch the race if I was at Fairmount Park or FanDuel track, whatever the heck it's called now. The St. Louis Derby, I didn't even know it was a thing. So sorry, I apologize in advance. I will not be watching the St. Louis Derby. I didn't know what the race was. I assume it's a grade 3. I would assume.
I don't think it's anything.
Oh, so even worse. Okay, so I'm not going to be watching. No, I will be locked in on the Traverse. Don't wait. Yeah. I'm not watching that. I tell Aaron all the time. I'm at the all-star level. That's all I watch. I watch like the top 2 or 3 tracks that day, and that's it. So tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, it's Wednesday. Thursday, I texted Aaron. I was like, I guess I'm doing Indiana, Grand, and Delaware. And he said, yes, LOL, something to that effect. And then I sent this celebration emoji, like, yeah, you get to do that again. But starting next week, Del Mar, I think, starts running on Thursday, and maybe Gulfstream again as well. So,
I hope so.
As long as Saratoga's open, honestly, because that's getting me through the next 5 weeks or so.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it was a great weekend overall. Just hanging out again. Aaron consumed every ounce of alcohol that was in sight, so I'm shocked he made it to his plane on Sunday. But no, that was good. We'll be back here tomorrow for actually covering. You know what I want to do? We're going to cover the late pick 4, but I want to do a 2-minute steeplechase preview.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
Never done that before. Never come on here. If you guys aren't aware, they do steeplechase Wednesday and Thursday. Mm-hmm. Definitely Wednesdays. I think some Thursdays, depending on schedule. They always do it in the first race because they have to move the hedges, the grass, the fake grass that they jump over, and the obstacles, they have to remove it. So it's always race 1. I highly advise you guys watch one of those races. You don't have to do it every Wednesday, but if you could even watch the replay, it's one of the cooler things that Saratoga does that people don't know about. So I'd like to go over that, and we'll take guesses since they are. It's like picking out of a hat. You have no clue. Some fall down, some don't run. So Aaron and I will be picking out of a hat when we preview that one tomorrow.
That's what everybody wants to. That's what we do anyway, right? That's what everybody wants to see. That we'll definitely do a steeple race. I love them. I'm with you.
They're fun.
Yeah, they are fun. I with their live and watch them a couple times. I've been lucky enough, I think, on a Thursday to show up a little early and be able to get there in time. So yeah, we'll do it. We'll definitely do it. I'm excited, man. It's going to be a fun week. It's going to be fun.
Before we go, Saratoga was smart. They're smart. They don't include those races in multi-race sequences.
Yeah.
So they're like, so the pick 4s and 5s will start in race 2, and then they'll overlap. Usually it's like 1 through 5 and 6 through 10. It'll be 2 through 6, 6 through 10. So race 6 is like your key big race to get through both. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. They don't make them a big part of the card. It's just like, here it is, first race. It's almost like an exhibition. You can bet on it if you want, but you don't need to. I've never actually wagered on one. I will say that I'm not that bad.
I think you're saving your money in the grand scheme of things. You're probably saving your money. Since
I watched, it was a grade 1.
They do have a grade 1 there. Some of these races,
it was that one. It was a pretty good horse that won it, I think, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're fun to watch. They're fun to watch live. They're very smooth. They're very smooth going over those jumps. So
some of those horses were like distance turf horses.
Yep.
That they've changed, to hurdles, and you'll see on your programs there's an H. I think it's in a diamond. H in a diamond or H in a square. It indicates that that's a hurdles race, and you'll see some horses will have like a T in a circle for turf and then go to that. So they like change. They take like a full year to change. I agree with Mark. Steeplechase over quarter horse any day of the week.
Nah, give me quarter horses.
The quarter horse. Would you say you like quarter horses?
Yeah, give me the quarter horses. I like them.
Well, the only problem with those is you blow your nose and the race is over. At least if I blow my nose here, they still got to go like 2 laps. So.
My problem is the time between the races, the quarter horse races. I wish they were shorter, because I get bored in between them. Because, like you said, you wait and you wait and you wait, and it's 10 seconds, and then you wait again. And I do get bored, but I do like watching them. But I like watching anything. I wouldn't watch you run around in a circle, but any 4-legged animal, I would probably watch.
I wouldn't let you watch me run around in a circle. This is a good point by Mark. I know we were supposed to end, but I love this conversation. Yeah. It's also fascinating. Right. These jockeys ride horses in the morning for different barns, but this is the only time you'll actually see them on the track. They are completely different riders. They weigh more. I don't know what they do. I've never asked. They must give a horse like a couple taps or something at a certain point before they have to jump. I'm not really sure how that works. The other thing you'll notice if you're on track, I don't think you'll see it on TV. Before the race starts, first of all, there's no gate, so we'll start there. The other thing that they do, each horse and each jockey goes up to the first hedge and they tap them. Or they give them a shoulder bump to say, look, like this is what it is. This is what the hedge is. It's very cool. Again, you have to be on track for that. But you'll see like, oh, what are they doing? Like, why are they walking up there? That's what they're doing. They're like indicating to the horse that this is about to be a hurdle. This is about to be something that we have to jump over. And they'll give them a tap. They may whatever they do to tell the horse. It's very, very cool that they do this. So I highly advise you try to watch one this summer if you can. It's completely different from everything else.
Yeah, it's unique, and it's just just another, I guess I should say, unique thing about Saratoga that you don't see very many places or anywhere. So, here we go. The dog races. Yeah, I love that. I went to the dog races in Daytona Beach one time. I had fun. I was very little. Probably shouldn't have been there. But I was there, and I had fun. It was good. I couldn't pick dogs very well.
You probably shouldn't have been there. I mean, the first time I was at Saratoga, I was 6 weeks old, so I probably shouldn't have been there either.
At least you were at Saratoga. I was in a dog track at Daytona Beach. So
yeah, yours was definitely a worse experience because I was born on June 4th, and then I was there. We always go opening weekend, so maybe it was 7 weeks. So you were there for greyhound racing. That's what.
Yeah, it was so weird. My dad was like, "Let's go to the dog track," and at this time we'd never been. And I was like, "Wow, okay, I'll go watch these dogs." And it was fun, and we had fun, and then we never went back again. So it was really strange.
I don't even want to call it a sport. It's like barely living. It's like just in Florida, pretty much. And
they're closing them all down in Florida, like Mark said. So it's pretty much over. But
the best is when they have like the fake fish. So the horse, or like the horses are chasing it. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not a
Like,
fish, it's a rabbit.
oh, rabbit, whatever, the fake rabbit, whatever. It's a fake animal that the dogs are chasing. It's like, God, it's like the hamster wheel where that just goes over and over again. So they
They had a name. They had a name. I can't remember what they named it at Daytona, but it would start like on the turn, and they'd say, "Here comes whatever," and they would get just far enough away with the dogs and never catch them, and then they'd let the dogs out and they'd chase that thing. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I had fun.
I've never been. Well, look, how about this? If we ever make it to Gulfstream together, we'll go.
Is it Rusty? Or no, you're just making shit up. You don't know what it is. But
Yeah, I don't know.
No, they're closing them down in Florida, so we won't go. We can go to Southland and Memphis. That's close to me. You want to fly in for the dogs? No? Okay.
I wouldn't even go if the trip was free. If someone's like, "Oh, I'm going to pay for you to fly into like Memphis," I still wouldn't go. And Memphis isn't that close to you.
No, it's not that close. It's not.
Yeah.
Listen, if they ran dogs in Joplin, Missouri, which is where I'm at right now, where I live, I would not go.
Yeah. I mean, so Woody was Woodlands and Kansas and oh God. Yeah, so Mark could, if we ever talk about greyhound racing, I guess I'll be more than willing to get off and just let Mark talk about it.
I wonder what Daytona's dog right here. Let's see if I can find it. No, I'm not searching that. I'm not putting that in my search engine. I'm not going to do that. No.
Yeah, we don't want the wife to get on you for looking up dog greyhound names or greyhound rabbit names or whatever.
That's something Heather will never go to a dog race. I know that for a fact.
I don't blame her, to be quite honest with you. I mean, again, like I don't eat sugar. There's more of a chance that I would eat an ice cream cone before going to that. And I haven't had ice cream since I graduated college. So that's how little I want to see dogs run in a circle. So,
all right, we've worn out our welcome. When we started talking about the dogs, this show turned into shit. It wasn't great anyway, and then we started talking about dogs, and that was the end of it. I'm getting off. We're ending this broadcast. Please join us tomorrow. We're going to talk about dogs and quarter horses and steeple chase races and the late pick 4 at Saratoga, and you don't want to miss any of it because we'll be back normal time tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure to join us. Late pick 4, Saratoga. Let's hope that the Rocket Man can stay hot. Good luck if you're playing today.